Alright folks, so I wanted to do a little simple review over how to solve a quadratic by completing the square. The first thing we want to do is we want to make sure that the x's are on one side and that there is nothing in front of the x squared, which there is nothing here. So in order to complete the square, what we do is we have the same first two terms. And in order to complete this square, what we're doing is we're taking this 8 and dividing it by 2 and squaring it. The reason why we do that is because we end up with something like this, in which you have x squared minus 8x plus 16, which can be rewritten as some sort of quantity squared. And that quantity squared is x minus 4 squared. Okay? So what I have to do is I have a 3 on the right side, but because I added 8 over 2 squared, I have to add it to this side as well. So really what I'm doing is I'm adding 16 to 3, which is 19. So now I have some sort of quantity squared equal to a number, and in order to solve that, all I have to do is square root both sides. So I end up with x minus 4 equals plus or minus square root of 19. And then I just add 4 to both sides. And I find out that x equals 4 plus or minus square root of 19. Okay? So all I did was I got the x's by themselves. I took the middle term, divided by 2, and squared it, and added it to both sides. I factored out the right side, and it's pretty easy when I complete the square to do that, because all I have to do is I write down the x, and then I take the middle term, divide it by 2, and then square that binomial. I square root both sides, so I have x minus 4 equals plus or minus square root of 19. I add 4 to both sides, and I get x to be 4 plus or minus square root of 19. Let's look at a new one. So in this case, I have 3x squared minus 6x minus 15 equals 0. So I do want to get the x's by themselves, so I'm going to add 15 to both sides. And now, in order to complete the square, I have to have a positive x squared. So I'm going to take all three of these terms, and divide everything by 3. So I end up with x squared minus 2x equals 5. Now I want to complete the square, so I'm going to take the minus 2x. Actually, I'm going to take the negative 2, divide it by 2, and square it, and add it to both sides. So right now I have x squared minus 2x plus 1 equals 5 plus 1. Okay? Now I factor out this quantity and I get it to be x minus 1 squared. Why do I know that so quickly? Is because I know it's going to be this term over 2 to get that minus 1 equals 6. I square root both sides, and I end up with x minus 1 equals plus or minus square root of 6. Add 1 to both sides, and I get x to be 1 plus or minus square root of 6. I hope this helps out, and we will see you soon.